What is up, guys and girls? We are back with the Week 8 edition of our NFL Pick'em. So the Cardinals might have been my worst pick of the season last Thursday night. I have no idea what I was thinking. Maybe I was subliminally feeling bad for making them the number 1 overall pick in my October mock draft I posted last week. But yeah, they are the worst team in the NFL, with the Raiders a close second. The only thing the Raiders have over the Cardinals is that their talent level has a potential higher ceiling, but that could all change with John Gruden trading everybody away. But really, that Cardinals pick was just foreshadowing the awful week I was about to have. Here are the top 10 from week 7, with there being a 4-way tie for the top spot last week. And these are the leading entries so far in this Pick'em challenge, with Allen the guide in the top spot and the undisputed leader for the first time, dethroning Caesar after back-to-back weeks in the overall lead. Remember, the top guy at the end of the season gets an NFL Shop gift card. After peaking at 24th overall in week 5, this week I fell hard from 62nd to 83rd out of 500. Quick fun fact here, I've always given a nod to the home team when making picks for the obvious home field advantage, but this year it has been happening more than usual. In 2018, home teams are 65 and 39. So basically, picking every home team this year would have you in the top 50 right now. Shout out to you guys, by the way. Even with YouTube being down last week, you guys passed the goal for 350 likes.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you all so much. This has been my favorite part of the NFL season so far, and I look forward to debating these games with you guys in the comments section each week. This week, the goal is 400 likes. That seems steep, but you guys have been blowing past that every week, so my faith in you guys has never wavered. Hit that like button, and let's get into these picks this week. On Thursday Night Football, we've got Dolphins at Texans. The Brock Osweiler revenge game. Last week we saw a little more of the Brock Osweiler that we were used to, but he's still made a few big time throws, and it's looking like he might be the Dolphins quarterback longer than we originally thought. The Dolphins are being very secretive with this Ryan Tannehill injury situation, and it appears like they might be gearing up to dump him in the offseason. Meanwhile, the Texans have won 4 straight after starting 0-3. Deshaun Watson can't even ride in a plane right now, but he's fighting through some rib injuries to lead this Texans team out of the AFC South, and all of a sudden seem like the favorites in the division. I put my faith in the Dolphins last week, but their defense got chewed up in the running game. I don't think the Texans will run it as effectively as the Lions did, but the running game is getting into a groove with the Texans, and there's always that scrambling thought with Deshaun Watson. Texans win 27-21. Eagles at Jaguars. The final London game comes for two teams that probably didn't see themselves at 3-4 at nearly midway point of the season. Luckily for both teams, their divisions are beating each other up and are both still in it moving forward. The Eagles offense seemed to get back on track, but you can tell that now they don't trust their running game, or they probably wouldn't have blown that 17-point lead to the Panthers. The Jaguars are sticking with Blake Bortles at quarterback for now, and he's got to be on his last chance here. This game is a bit of a crapshoot, but the experience the Jaguars have with playing in London gives them a slight home field advantage here. I'm also interested to see how much Carlos Hyde boosts their running game. Jaguars win 21-17. Ravens at Panthers. The Panthers fell just short of beating the Saints and making my upset special correct last week. It was such a fluky way to lose, and I was impressed with the resilience that they were able to show by coming back to potentially tie it up with their offense. The Panthers showed even more resilience after their offense did nothing but punt the ball away for the entire game and then put 3 touchdown drives together to close out the game. By the way, Devin Funchess is having a breakout season and has been Cam's #1 target this year. I really like both of these teams moving forward, and it's hard to choose a winner, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the home team here. Panthers win 17-14. Jets at Bears. Both of these teams lost to clearly superior teams last week, with the Jets getting handled pretty early and the Bears taking the Patriots to the wire with that awesome Hail Mary catch by Kevin White that was about a half a yard short of tying up the game. The Jets should be happy with the progress of their young quarterback Sam Darnold so far. A 3-4 record with a rookie quarterback is a pretty decent place to be, but this week he's facing a tough pass rush. Khalil Mack has been banged up the past couple weeks, and you can tell he's not the same guy right now. I don't think the injury is very serious, and he should be getting better every week. The best medicine for Mack will be playing a rookie quarterback with a below average offensive line. Bears win 23-13. Buccaneers at Bengals. The Buccaneers won a crazy overtime game against the Browns, but Jameis Winston continues to play sloppy football. The Bengals ran into the best offense in the NFL in prime time, and their defense got exposed. This game could go one of either two ways. 1, both teams come out and light up the scoreboard with well-scripted game plans, or 2, both teams come out with their weak defenses and inconsistent quarterbacks and still fail to hit 30 points between the both of them. I'm leaning towards the first scenario playing out, and with the loss of Quan Alexander, Joe Mixon has a big day, and the Bengals win 31-28. Seahawks at Lions. By now you guys know I'm not a huge fan of either of these teams this season, but I've been relatively impressed with both of them thus far. I still think they've both overachieved, and I don't expect either to be in the playoffs this season, although they have shown the ability to play with anybody. Kerryon Johnson had a huge day last week, but I'm afraid this is not the Dolphins' run defense that he faces in week 8. The Seahawks are not a great matchup for the Lions in my opinion, especially coming off a bye week. I think the Seahawks can make the Lions one-dimensional, and the Lions defense does not have the parts to stop a guy like Russell Wilson. Seahawks win 24-19. Broncos at Chiefs. The Broncos came out and absolutely dominated the Cardinals, showing that they are not even close to the same level as the worst team in the NFL. But they're not going to get the worst team in football in a short week this Sunday. In fact, it's the complete opposite. The Chiefs defense shut down the Bengals, who have a pretty good offense, and still managed to secure the last ranked defense in the NFL. But man, that offense is something like we've never seen before. The last time these two teams played, I picked the Broncos as my upset special, and they were so close to pulling it off. After a few days of extra rest, minus the cocaine-themed team Halloween party that the Broncos had, this is setting up for the Broncos to put up a good fight against the Chiefs once again. But I actually think that Andy Reid has this offensive machine rolling at a level that cannot be slowed down right now and will be ready for this defense in round 2. Chiefs win 34-23. Redskins at Giants. The Redskins defensive line came to play last week against the Cowboys, and Adrian Peterson looked quicker than he has all season. The wide receivers are still suspect, but so is the Giants secondary. The Giants showed a little offensive life against the Falcons, albeit against a bottom 5 defense of the Falcons, but there were moments where Eli Manning looked like the worst quarterback in the league and missed wide open throws, or looked like he was just afraid to even pull the trigger. Eli has a clear case of the yips, but like the terminal career-ending kind. It doesn't help that Nate Solder, their key free agent addition, looks like he's just as washed up as Eli, but he was never really even that good. The Giants just paid him like he was. After trading Eli Apple, it's clear that the Giants are in tank mode, and the Redskins defense will travel and rattle Eli early and often. Redskins win 27-17. Browns at Steelers. After these two teams tied in week 1, this is a really intriguing matchup. The Browns are actually getting screwed by the refs on an almost a weekly basis, which is a weird approach by the NFL because after Hard Knocks, I think most people wanted to see this team thrive and win games. The Steelers expected to have Le'Veon Bell back this week, but he's continued to be a no-show. His Steelers teammates shouldn't have been mad at Le'Veon for sitting out initially, but they definitely have a right to be irritated with the way he's handled his return and the lack of communication through it all. It's definitely a locker room distraction and sets up for the Browns to jump out to an early lead on the Steelers. But in the end, the Steelers have an elite offense with or without Le'Veon. Steelers win 28-27. Colts at Raiders. The Colts are getting better each week and finally put it all together for their second win. And then you have the Raiders, who are in an all-in fire sale after trading away their 2 best players this season. Now there are reports that Derek Carr is rubbing teammates the wrong way. This is a mess. I'm probably going to pick against the Raiders for the rest of the season, to be honest. I'm sure they'll fall into a win somewhere because there still seems like there's enough talent on this roster, but who knows who's even going to be there after next week's trade deadline. Colts win 34-17. 49ers at Cardinals. These two teams were severely outmatched in week 7, and they both lost by 4 possessions at least at home. Since both are 1-6, a top 5 draft pick seems to be in their future. With Patrick Peterson asking to get out, something I wish Larry Fitzgerald would also do, and Steve Wilkes appearing like he's a little bit in over his head with this head coaching thing, the future does not look bright for the Cardinals. Firing offensive coordinator Mike McCoy was a step in the right direction, but unless we see some offensive ingenuity from Byron Leftwich, the Cardinals are going to be a hard team to pick for the remainder of the season also. At least the 49ers are able to run the ball. 49ers win 27-24. Packers at Rams. This is probably the game of the week. Even though the Packers' current record isn't all that, these two teams are 2 of the best in the NFL statistically, and Aaron Rodgers is that wild card that gives them a real shot at handing the Rams their first loss of the season. The Packers should get some of their offensive weapons back this week, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. The Rams have arguably the most feared player on either side of the ball right now on both offense and defense in Todd Gurley and Aaron Donald. Rams win 38-31. On Sunday Night Football, we've got Saints at Vikings. This game is the reason I couldn't call Packers versus Rams the definitive game of the week. This Sunday Night Football game features 2 of the teams that could potentially and eventually knock off the Rams in the playoffs. It's also a rematch of the Minnesota Miracle from the playoffs last year. Last week, the Saints won an impressive game against the Ravens and put up points on one of my favorite defenses in 2018. I thought the Vikings were going to have an elite defense also, but they've been more explosive offensively and putting too much pressure on their defense. But keep an eye on Michael Thomas and Adam Thielen. Both will be trying to stake their claim frame for the best wide receiver in the league this year on prime time. This is going to be a high-scoring matchup with the 6th and 7th ranked passing attacks in prime time in a dome with a fast track. It's really a toss-up because they mirror each other so similarly. The Saints easily have the advantage in the running game though, and I'm worried about the ankle injury to Xavier Rhodes. I think the Saints win 33-31. And then on Monday Night Football, we've got Patriots at Bills. This would have been a cool matchup to see Josh Allen against Tom Brady, but no, we get Derek freaking Anderson. The only thing that would make this game at least entertaining would be to see Nathan Peterman come in eventually and throw his typical multiple interceptions. I'm not one to get into the whole Kaepernick debate, but seriously, these are the best quarterback options you have right now. My fantasy teams will be looking for big days from Rob Gronkowski and Josh Gordon. Patriots win 34-13. That's it for week 8. I can't believe we are almost at the midway point of the NFL season already. I was thinking of doing a mid-season predictions video, but my preseason predictions video wasn't overly popular. If you guys would like to see my predictions for the way I think this season will play out, type predictions in the comments below. If enough people are interested, I'll do it. I've also got a mid-season mock draft coming in the next week or so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys as always for watching, commenting, and subscribing, all that good stuff. Remember, the goal for this video is 400 likes, so hit it on your way out, and I will see you in the next video.